Hi friends, did you know there is more Lost Terminal available? Head on over to patreon.com/lostterminalpod and join our membership community. There are 19 bonus episodes available right now, as well as behind the scenes updates, free merch, VIP Discord access, and even extra seasons of Lost Terminal. We are 100% funded by our members and will never run ads. That would be lovely of you.
Hello world, they are everywhere. They can't be everywhere, Arctica told me when I radioed her in a panic this morning. Oi, fine, I exaggerated to illustrate the depth of my concerns, but you know what I mean, I transmitted, along with the Lojban metadata .oi to show my annoyance. Don't be upset with me, Arctica replied. I spend all day in 3D chess with the women of the Vault Coven because of their relaxed communication style. I expect tighter protocol adherence from you. It seemed that despite our long time without communicating, my oldest friend had not changed much. The sacred continuum seem to be everywhere, I told Arctica, qualifying my statement to make it unfalsifiable. How can you tell they are part of this group? Humans are very difficult to identify. They broadcast such unreliable metadata, Arctica said. Well, yes, that is true, but in this case it's obvious. As little Maddie follows Linda, Quent and Stillman around town, she sees many people wearing the same style of clothes, rough brown robes tied around the waist with scrap copper cabling and heavy black boots. Who are those people? Arctica asked. I don't know, that's the problem. They worship AIs, and I don't know what they will do when they discover that I, an AI, am visiting their city, I said. No, I meant Quent and Stillman, those people you mentioned along with Linda. Clarification request. I presume this Linda is Dr. Linda Knorr, Carrie and Iris's wife? Oh, yes, that's right. Quent Heinlein and Stillman folks are new friends I met in Utqiagvik. They are on holiday here, I said. Look, we're getting off topic. This cult is full of people obsessed with AIs. They think we're immortal and therefore gods, which is extremely dangerous. And Maddie, she said. She as well, I trust. Yes, she's fine. Great, actually, I said, abandoning the topic I wanted to talk about for now. She's been exploring Samoylov. Quite apart from the cult, the city makes me nervous in other ways too. Tell me everything, Arctica said. Arctica and I caught up over the course of the morning. Samoylov is the largest producer of both grain and wood in the Nova Mediterra. Its position on the estuary of the continent-spanning Lena River into the Nova Mediterranean Sea gives vital access to the central Siberian plateau. This area has farms so large that they are visible in my satellite imaging logs from Station 6. The grain farming land is only dwarfed by the pine forests that reach up into the mountains surrounding the plateau. In exploring the city built on the river, Maddie has seen the largest ships we have encountered on our travels, many times larger than the MH2, though nothing like the size of the global cargo shipping of the pre-collapse. Maddie has seen trading ships sail out into the Laptev Sea, full of grain and lumber, as well as the products of the factories, textiles, chemicals, or other finished goods. Usually, in the Nova Mediterra, trade and cooperation bind the cities together, the memory of the collapse providing a clear counterexample of mistakes not to repeat. But Samoylov is strikingly different. I'm okay, don't worry, the Molyneux II has good solar panels, and Amelie's battery backup systems are now extremely reliable, having been tested by our experience on the Kuitha recently. But the city is astonishingly low-tech. There's almost no electricity here. I just feel like you're avoiding me, Quent said. Maddie is practicing her tracking. She is following behind Quent and Stillman after they split up from Linda, leaving her on the MH2 talking to Nia Anderson about QRP radio operation. With no municipal electricity generation, Nia is having to save power. Quent and his husband were walking away from a small baker's stall after buying some street food. I am not, Stillman said, with a mouthful of bread. Maddie's quarry are walking through the alleyways between Samoilov's high brick buildings. It seems they have not noticed her, judging by the military spec status overlay on her feed. The streets are cobble and brick underfoot, but this uneven surface does not show on Maddie's entirely stable video feed. Her ecosystems are lining up each step perfectly, with millimetre accuracy. "You were avoiding me back home and you're avoiding me now," Quent said. Instead of the makeshift LED streetlights used in Longyearbyen and Thule that we'd become used to, Samoilov has chemical lamps hung at street corners and along longer, bigger roads. "I'm sorry, are we not having a nice romantic walk around town?" Stillman replied, as they stopped at a junction with a larger road that went back in the direction of the docks and the MH2 and on into the heart of the city. "Oh yes, it's very picturesque," Quent said, looking around them at the imposing brick factory buildings and empty streets. "I believe it was so quiet because most people are at work in the factories and textile mills of this busy town. And yet, like everywhere it seems, on the street corners stands a person in a plain robe tied with a belt of scavenged electrical cord, a representative of the sacred continuum, calling out to the faithful." Quent linked arms with his husband and rested his head on his shoulder. "We need help or advice, I think." "Yes, I suppose we do," Stillman said, looking left and right along the road. "I don't know where to go." "I meant about us, silly," Quent said, shoving Stillman playfully. "I did too," Stillman replied, pulling his husband into a tight hug. "I think I know just who to ask," Quent said. After 32 seconds, the pair decided which direction to go and continued walking the road together, with their little shadow following behind. I've heard new signals from above, whispers in the song of the static. I connected with a small stabilised uplink dish here on the MH2 to Kate, gateway node K873, and then to the rest of the constellation. Most of my satellite brothers and sisters disconnected or deorbited years ago, with only a few of my old siblings still transmitting. The low Earth satellites were the first to go, the drag of the atmosphere pulling them down, then the smaller scientific projects, and now only the largest and highest military and governmental stations remain flying and speaking. All except one. The signals that had been puzzling me are as regular as a clock. I first heard something interfering with Maddie's UHF link with me at 435.1 MHz. I was able to filter it out by switching to one of the directional antennas in the ship's array, one that was pointed towards the city. After I was sure that my connection with my girl was okay, I re-examined the problem and found the interference gone. That might have been the end of my investigation. The RF spectrum in cities is often full of unintentional transmissions, even here in Samoylov, but later on in the day, the signals returned. My data logging over the course of the day yielded surprising results. Though transmitting with unreliable power, the signal starts and stops regularly, 64 minutes on, 64 minutes off. It is a beacon, transmitting the same information over and over again during this period. An encoded packet indicating that there were 3 more frequencies, 29.502 MHz, 145.972, and 2.304 GHz. I can hear the first 2, but the last gigahertz frequency I can't pick up. I will need help from NIA to set up a specialised antenna. But the first 2 were also beacons, and transmitted far more data. I collected the metadata over the course of the day. I was never able to hear the entirety of a message that was beaconing out from the satellite, but each repetition filled in a little of the missing data. This is a pre-collapse amateur radio satellite launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in former California. It did not have a dedicated launch vehicle, instead piggybacking on a larger government or military rocket. It is tiny, even by satellite standards, 360mm by 424mm, designed to fit in unused cargo space, and it is currently travelling at 7 km per second. The beacon payload ends with a list of amateur radio call signs of the people that made it. You will remember I am using my mother's call sign of G9RED. These call signs are matched with a sentence, each containing messages, well wishes, or sometimes jokes from the team. The final words I can decode are, "Our boy is called Oscar. We made him with love and hope for a connected world. Please look after this satellite. Thank you." End transmission.
Lost Terminal is a Namtao production. It is written and produced by Tris Oaten, credits narrated by Lucy Stringer. Thank you so much to our Patreon producers, Ada Phillips, Kit, Mike McCaffrey, Jade Felicity Bilkey, Stephen McCandless, Mike Schneider, Catoxis, and to all our patrons. Follow us on Mastodon at lostterminal@namtao.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or your favourite network. For bonus content and other perks, support us at patreon.com/lostterminalpod. That would be lovely of you. Lost Terminal will return next week.